Aiming and controlling your recoil on PUBG on controller is notoriously difficult and something that even experienced players can still struggle with. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can use the training rooms built into PUBG to perfect your settings, your aim, and your recoil control to take your gameplay to the next level. Hey everybody, my name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and welcome back to another PUBG Console video. I've been playing PUBG on console since its release over 5 years ago, and more recently I've started to use the training rooms more and more to try and tweak my settings and my gameplay. The new functionality recently added to the training rooms has helped me refine my settings and improve my aim with a controller, and I wanted to share with you the processes that I've used for doing this. Even if you're happy with your settings and your aim, some of the techniques in this video still make for a great warm-up and practice routine that you can smash through in 10 minutes and use to ensure that you're at your best when you jump out of the plane. If you have any questions about anything in this video, then please leave a comment down below or jump over to my live stream on twitch.tv/thebeardguys, where you can usually catch me streaming PUBG on UK afternoons. The aim training mode is a new addition to the PUBG training rooms and can be accessed by going to the helipads marked with the torso target icon on your map and then pressing X or square on PlayStation. Keep in mind that you can't enter these until the round actually starts, so you need to wait until the clock in the top right is actually ticking down. In the meantime though, you can hold down the map button to pull up the item spawn menu and spawn in any gear you like. Once you're in here, you can select between the aim trainer and the sound trainer, but first we're going to look at the aim training, although the sound trainer is also pretty handy. What I like to do here is grab an M4 with all the bells and whistles on it, plus a red dot, and then use it for that mode. Personally, I tend to use a thumb grip for the M4 as the recoil is so weak. I don't think you really need to use a better grip, and the thumb grip gives quicker ADS speed, but just use whatever you feel comfortable with. Now there's a few ways to play this mode, and trying to get the most targets or highest accuracy isn't necessarily the most useful approach. This might sound counterintuitive, and it's definitely fun to try and see what high scores you can get, but realistically, trying to carefully place 2 bullets into each target's head in order to be efficient with your ammo and reloading isn't actually how you would play PUBG. I find it more helpful to use this mode to practice my accuracy in snapping between targets and then to spray them in the same way I would spray at a normal player. This means that your accuracy will likely be pretty trash and you'll have to reload a bunch of times, but I think it's much better practice for simulating how you shoot in a real game of PUBG. I sat down and played through this mode several dozen times a few weeks ago and gradually tweaked my settings as I went until I felt like my aim was getting really consistent. My general sends used to be at 18 before this process started because I liked being able to spin and react to situations nice and quickly, but I found by gradually reducing this all the way down to 12 along with tweaking my 1x send slightly and my aim acceleration, I was able to get a lot more consistent with my aim. You can see here when I switch my general back up to 18 that I'm constantly snapping my aim too far past the targets and then having to correct. And while this is a little exaggerated by the fact that I've gotten used to playing at 12 for a couple of weeks, this same effect was still obvious when I was doing it before. I'd recommend going through the same process as I did and playing this mode over and over until you feel you can quickly and accurately snap between targets with the gun of your choice. I wouldn't worry too much about your recoil being wild in this one, as there are better places to train your recoil in the training rooms that we'll touch on in a short while. You're going to struggle to ever be as quick and accurate as a PC player on mouse and keyboard, as it's so much easier to snap a mouse cursor to a point on the screen than it is to move a controller onto one, but you can definitely make some big improvements here. Keep in mind when watching me do this that I play high general sends and low ADS, so I prefer to come out of ADS and snap to a new target before zooming in again. If you're a high ADS sends player, then it's probably going to feel more natural for you to just stay scoped in whilst you snap between targets. The sound training mode is another useful feature in training rooms that you can use both to improve your skills at identifying the direction of gunfire as well as practice practicing your aim. By default, it gives you a deagle, but I like to run it with a bolt action and a zoom 6x and use it as practice to try and quickly swing between headshots on each target. Having to spin around and move and locate targets to shoot gives a much more realistic training situation than just standing still on a range, because ideally when you're playing PUBG, you want to spend as little time as possible standing still. I don't use this mode as much as some of the others, but it's still worth having a look at. Before we jump into the next section, I just wanted to quickly mention that if you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, then you can help us out in return by clicking the like button down below and subscribing to the channel for loads more PUBG content like this. And we also have a PUBG creator code that you can add to your account, and I'll put a little promo at the end of today's video that tells you exactly how you can do that. Now onto some of the ways I use to practice my recoil control and shooting at moving targets. There's several places in the training rooms that have moving targets, some of which have been newly added and some of which have been around for a while. Two of my favorites are the somewhat hidden 200-meter range and the moving vehicle range. I didn't even realize the 200-meter range was there for quite some time, but it is marked on the map, and if you make your way around to it, you'll find strafing targets like you find on the other ranges, but these are shaped like people and not like normal targets. These also show damage scores when you hit them, as well as showing a red score if you hit a headshot. As well as that, because it's a little bit out of the way, you don't often get people over there. This range is brilliant for practicing spraying moving targets, which is a great way to get your recoil dialed in. If you find that no matter how much you push your stick down or up, in my case as I run inverted Y, you just can't beat the recoil, or if you constantly pull your aim down into the dirt, then try adjusting your vertical sensitivity multiplier. Bringing this up higher will make your vert sends more sensitive, meaning less input is required to counter vertical recoil. Personally, I run 70 and that works for me, but I would generally recommend finding a setting somewhere around that range and just sticking with it and practicing. Recoil control comes from muscle memory mostly, so just spraying moving targets like this over and over will help you get used to controlling it. And if you make adjustments to your settings that you don't need to, then you're going to have to relearn that muscle memory. I also like to keep moving around as much as possible in between shots, just like I would in a real game of PUBG, to get you used to that feel of going from moving to quickly crouched and spraying and then back again. This is going to help you out much more than just sitting still spraying targets over and over again. Shooting moving targets like this is also helpful for making adjustments to your scope sensitivities, as well as adjusting your aim acceleration or deciding whether to have it turned off or on. Both of these settings will affect how well you can track a moving target, which is key for success in PUBG. I also like to use this range for practicing moving sniper shots or DMR shots, helping you get used to how much to lead targets and the different bullet velocity between guns. The vehicle shooting range, which can also be found on the map, is also great for this kind of practice at shooting moving targets, and it's another one I use frequently for a quick warm-up session, spraying down the moving targets as best I can. This is particularly useful for figuring out your ADS sends, or if you want to add aim acceleration for tracking fairly fast moving targets. These vehicle targets show white hit markers for normal hits and red for driver seat hits. The long ranges in training rooms like the one next to the vehicle range are also useful places to practice various skills. I tend to jump onto this one with a mini after doing the vehicle range and use it just to practice hitting moving targets with consistent fast shots. And I also use it for practicing controlling longer range full auto sprays with my M4 or other ARs. So this might all seem like a lot of effort for a video game, but in reality you can run through all of this stuff in 10 to 15 minutes, and if you do start to do it regularly or use longer sessions in order to make adjustments to your settings, I'm confident that many of you will be able to improve your gameplay skills for when it matters. There are of course an endless amount of drills and techniques that you can use in the training rooms, and I'd love for you to share any that you like to use down in the comments section below. And also let me know if you've managed to make improvements to your settings and skills in PUBG by using the training rooms, because I know they've worked wonders for me, both in improving my aim and also in helping me shake off the rust before I get started in a proper session. So that's everything for today. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time. I just wanted to drop you all a quick message to tell you about our PUBG creator code. As a PUBG partner, we have a creator code which you can add to your account, which means whenever you purchase anything in-game, PUBG will give us a commission. Whether you're buying season passes, G-Coin bundles, or anything else that requires cash in PUBG, if you have our code added, then you'll be helping us out without costing yourself a penny extra. It's a great way to support the channel, and it really does help keep us making PUBG content for you. Plus, it's easy to set up and you'll only ever have to do it once. To add our code, first visit accounts.pubg.com and then log in or create an account. Once you've logged in, connect your Xbox, PlayStation or Steam account on the Linked Accounts tab, then go to the Creator Appreciation Program section and type the Beard Guys into the box or find us from the drop-down list. Then just click submit and you're all done. A massive thank you to everybody who has used our code. Your support is absolutely vital for us and it really makes a huge difference.